Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're going to completely change the game on how you use sound to study. We're moving way beyond those endless generic study playlists and diving deep into the world of science-backed nervous system regulation. Now, we're talking about ASMR, but probably not in the way you're used to hearing about it. We're going to look at exactly how it can be used as a highly effective, complementary wellness tool for your academic life.
So let's dive right into this hyper-familiar scenario. You sit down at your desk to work, right? You've got your notes out, your highlighters ready, and almost instantly, your heart rate starts to rise. Your breathing gets super shallow, and instead of focusing on the page in front of you, your brain just starts completely panicking. You're sitting there thinking, what if I fail? What if I forget everything? What if I literally end up living in a van down by the river? We're constantly told as students to just study harder. But in these moments, studying feels completely 100% impossible.
Well, here's the crucial thing to understand. Your lack of focus in that moment isn't a lack of effort. Actually, scratch that. It's not a lack of willpower or a character flaw at all. What you're actually experiencing is a physiological nervous system problem. Your nervous system is just way too tense, way too tightly wound to process and retain any new information. You're in a state of high physical stress, so your brain is prioritizing basic survival and worry over, memorizing historical dates or complex math formulas.
So here is our roadmap for today. Section 1, the real study problem. Section 2, the science behind ASMR. Section 3, when ASMR causes distraction. And finally, the ASMR student protocol.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the real study problem. Beyond just try harder.
You see, test anxiety isn't just something made up in your head. It has a very stark physical reality. Your heart rate accelerates. Your breathing becomes shallow, which literally signals a physical threat to your brain. And because of that, your attention aggressively jumps from your textbook right to those future fears. This stress response creates incredibly high friction. Honestly, it makes learning feel like you're trying to drive down the highway with a parking brake slammed on. To fix this, we don't need some flashy new highlighting technique. We need a real tool to lower that friction and support the physical conditions that make studying possible in the first place.
Moving on to Section 2, the science behind ASMR, lowering the friction.
Now, the foundational science here reveals a really fascinating contrast. Take the 2013 research by Dunlofsky. That study conclusively proves that evidence-based learning strategies, like practice testing, will always outperform passive reading. Simply put, ASMR absolutely cannot replace active studying. But then, look at the Porio research from 2018. This team found that for ASMR-sensitive viewers, exposure actually reduced their heart rate and improved their emotional state. And a 2015 study by Barrett and Davis confirmed that it's widely used for relaxation and sleep. When you put all this data together, it shows us exactly how ASMR can physically calm the body down so you can actually perform the tough, active recall work that Dunlofsky proved we need to do.
So imagine sitting down with that intense pre-exam stress. Your heart rate is through the roof, right? Now, ASMR isn't going to magically beam the answers into your brain, but for those who are sensitive to it, a short exposure dramatically drops that heart rate. It transitions you out of that state of sheer panic and into a much calmer body state. And calm really, really matters. It is the absolute prerequisite for focus.
Which brings us to Section 3, when ASMR causes distraction, the cognitive trade-offs. Okay, here is a golden cognitive rule you absolutely must remember. Language competes with language. Think about it. If you're reading a textbook, writing an essay, or trying to grasp complex new concepts, you're heavily using the language processing centers of your brain. If you're simultaneously listening to someone whispering or telling soft-spoken stories or any kind of verbal ASMR trigger, you're jamming that exact same processor. It just doesn't work. You have to avoid spoken word ASMR while doing verbal work. Safe usage means strictly sticking to nonverbal triggers, stuff like rain, tapping, page textures, brown noise, or honestly sometimes, just golden silence.
I really want to hammer this fundamental truth home so it sticks with you. ASMR does not directly install information into your brain. It's a fantastic tool for masking unpredictable background noise, and it's brilliant for cueing a study routine, but it is not a magic shortcut. You simply cannot bypass spaced repetition, practice testing, and getting a good night's sleep. Think of it as a complementary tool, definitely not a magic pill.
All right, let's get incredibly practical with Section 4, the ASMR student protocol strategic application.
So here's a simple 5-step protocol to put all this science into action. Step 1. Set a clear, specific target for your study block, like say 10 flashcards or 1 chapter summary.
Step 2, start with just 2 minutes of a calming soundtrack to transition your body from stress to work mode. And I mean exactly 2 minutes. Do not fall down a playlist rabbit hole. Step 3, do the actual studying in complete silence or with a nonverbal soundscape. Step 4, wrap up with one active recall question to test what you learned without looking at your notes. And finally, Step 5, save your bedtime ASMR for only after the session is fully complete to help you wind down. Don't doom scroll until 2 a.m. because prioritizing sleep is what actually supports your memory consolidation.
There is a quote I absolutely love for this framing. ASMR is not the study method, it is the runway. That just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The goal of using sound here isn't to make studying completely effortless. Learning is always going to be an active, sometimes really difficult process. But the goal is to lower the friction. By calming your nervous system, you are literally paving a smooth runway so that your best evidence-based learning tools can finally build up speed and take off.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard, honest look at your current study habits. Are you constantly trying to force your way through a locked-up, panicked nervous system? I highly recommend trying this 5-step protocol tonight. Because once you realize that you actually have the power to consciously regulate your body's stress response, you really have to ask yourself, what other biological friction is holding your true potential back?